Hey there friends, welcome back to another Legally Owned America video. I'm of course Paul Glasgow here, the one and only truth pimp, dealing you a vulgar display of logic and reason on a daily basis. Friends, thanks for joining me today. I'm going to go over, let's just call it some more oddity from the Charlie Kirk assassination story. Let's call that a story, because I'm not comfortable calling it much of anything else, because there's too many unanswered questions and a whole lot of question marks out there that I'm not sure can be properly answered from the normal officials working on all this. Unfortunately, I feel like just like Butler, just like Las Vegas, a lot of the details in this are going to get lost. Today I'm going to talk about the text exchange from the two gay guys, the furry trans boyfriend and the actual supposed alleged shooter. First, guys, if you don't mind, take a look at my friend's Durya. These are my new carry pistols from Durya. I am carrying one of each. Depending on the day. I like to rotate my guns. I'm a little nerdy like that because I want to give my guns, if nothing else, a break where I can clean them. So I'll rotate typically between one or two firearms. In this case, I'm rotating between my two DY9s. One of them has the island barrel and island slide, which is essentially the island kit that can go on any of the DY9s. And then my other one is just your standard DY9. Love these guns. To my knowledge, no offense here, there are no unintended discharges from a Durya DY9, so check them out. Durya, my new partners, my new carry gun. They support the channel. Please support them. We're supposed to believe that the shooter, a guy on the run after assassinating Charlie Kirk, sat down after disassembling his gun, reassembling his gun, changing clothes, ditching the firearm in the woods, sat down and typed out a long, heartfelt love letter to his boyfriend, with perfect punctuation, dramatic regret, and yep, a courtroom ready confession. Really, that's the story we're supposed to believe. I'm 57 years old. Have you guys read text messages from anybody in their teens or their 20s? Have you seen the text messages, the alleged text messages in this case? They're not the same. The format's not the... Any of you that have businesses out there or work with younger people, you're going to know what I'm talking about, especially as time has evolved and we have younger people working with and around us. I've received a few text messages over the last, let's call it 2, maybe 3 weeks, from a mid-20s worker of ours who no longer works with us. The rambling nature of the text messaging, making no sense, jumping from topic to topic, lack of hardly any, if any, grammar or punctuation rules being followed. I mean, punctuation is a thing of the past, especially when it comes to texting. You go look in the comment sections and all that, and I can almost tell you the age group of somebody based on how they type things, either all caps, no punctuation, rambling sentences, misspelled words, a bunch of letters bound together to mean something, TGIF, IGDA. I mean, I have to Google groups of letters all the time to see what it stands for, because people are so lazy, they don't take the time to spell words out anymore in a text message. But we're supposed to believe these messages came from somebody in their early 20s, right? And on top of that, running from the law, nerves, supposedly, if they did in fact do this, nerves out the roof, right? But I can settle down and I can pin that perfect text message to my boyfriend. Full sentences, proper punctuation, flowing structure. Even sprinkled in a planning time frame in there, just so people would know it was me and what I had planned. So let's go through these text messages. I don't want to bore you guys, but I want you to see what I'm seeing in all this. This is what we have so far. I've highlighted a bunch of the irregularities and I've left them on there so you guys can spot them. There are more than this, but these are the obvious ones. First, I want to point out the perfect punctuation, because that is not normal for young people texting. I understand these could be some crazy people that just happen to really like punctuation and English composition, but I doubt it. Starting out with the phrase, "I'm still okay, my love." Now look, I don't know how gay people talk to one another, but my love? Really? I mean, I could see somebody courting somebody and calling them my love. I mean, I know they're gay, but this is really gay to call somebody my love. A straight man doesn't even call his girl that he's chasing my love. Do gay guys call each other my love? But I am stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. That first sentence already. I mean, I read the first sentence and I'm like, no way. I'm still okay, my love, comma, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet? Period? I mean, this dude's writing a freaking novel in a text message while he's running from the authorities, nervous that he's in a caught for murdering somebody, but he's penning this thing like he's freaking Shakespeare. Then he goes on again, rambling, unnecessary stuff that he's putting in here. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still. So there again, pointing out that he still has to get his rifle, which implies that he had stashed it somewhere. Remember, at this point, we probably knew that he had stashed it. So the referencing him stashing it here, probably in real time, they're locating it in the woods across the street from the university. And starting this next sentence out, to be honest, yeah, people write that. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. A lot of drama right there. But trying to show that he intended to run away and not be caught. Now here's where he's obviously trying to exonerate his boyfriend if he wrote this. I am sorry to involve you. So again, if this is written by somebody else to create a narrative, all good, right? I mean, this is perfectly well worded. The accomplice who's working with them right now, which is the gay furry guy, that guy right there is, oh, this is exonerating him. They put it in the text messaging between the two. Or, I mean, I'm looking at it two ways. I really don't believe this guy typed this on his own. If he typed this on his own, it's so well put together that it's done with the intent of taking all the blame to him and his boyfriend not getting into the blame. Or somebody else wrote all this completely. I don't know many early 20s people who are that noble to take full blame for something and to try to not have their significant other that they've been banging dragged into this also. A lot of times they're like, if I'm going down, everybody's going down. It just doesn't seem normal. People in their early 20s don't have this way of nobility about them to take one for the team. It's just not real common. But here again, in order to show exactly who did it, the boyfriend asks, you weren't the one who did it, right? The alleged shooter responds, I am. There's your confession. Right there. They can tie this phone to this alleged shooter. That's your confession. Going down where the furry boyfriend asked if they had caught somebody else. Again, they're laying all this out into a timeline. No, they grabbed some old dude, comma. A comma is so unusual to see in young people texting. Then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I put clothing there because that's not even normal for us to use. You would say, grab someone in similar clothes, right? Or dressed the same way. Not in similar clothing. It's like a cop wrote that. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point. Yeah, that's a phrase that young people use all the time. Drop point. Now it looks like somebody from the frickin' military has written this. But most of that side of town got locked down. Yeah, that's a real common one also. And he ends with a period and starts the next sentence with a capital letter. Of course, his iPhone likely did that. It's quiet, comma. Comma is so unusual to see with these young people. Almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. How many of you non-law enforcement, non-military people refer to a vehicle as a vehicle? If I'm talking about it, I know what I drive. If I'm telling my wife something, I got to run out to my truck. I got to run out to my Bronco. She says I have to run out to my car. Not vehicle. Yeah, that's fine to use. That's not a word that we normally use. That's more like law enforcement speak, or again, maybe military speak. Next up is the motive. I had enough of this hatred. Hate can't be negotiated out. Yeah, see, those two sentences right there, that's not what you're going to see 20-something-year-olds text back and forth to one another. But again, clearly giving his motive, He hated Kirk because he thought Kirk was full of hatred and thought that there was no way to help Kirk from his hatred because he couldn't negotiate that out. Here we go again as far as planning. How long have you been planning this? The furry trans boyfriend asks. A bit over a week. Cool. Question answered. You see, when interrogators or detectives who are looking into all of this are looking for answers to their questions, you notice how they're remarkably answering all the questions that might be asked of them in just this one text exchange? They are literally laying everything out. You got your motive, you got your timeline, you got who did it, where they did it, what they did it, everything. Even who owned the gun before. Grandpa's in here. They threw Grandpa onto the bus later on. I could get close to it, but there is a squad car parked right by it. Not cop car, not police car, squad car. Quite frankly, I don't think I've ever used the word squad car before. I know what a squad car is, and I've heard other cops call them squad cars. Squad car? You think a 20-year-old, non-military, non-law enforcement kid is calling these police cars, units, or whatever, a squad car? I've called them units before I've called them squad cars. I think they already swept that spot again. Unless this is video game speak, and it very well could be because they did play video games, but unless that's video game speak, very odd for a 20-year-old to be saying that. And I say that about the video game speak because I'm giving them an excuse, a tiny out, because I know a lot of the terminology that's used in a lot of these first-person player video games online and whatnot. So, again, if there's any reasonable explanation to it, it has to be something like that, because this is not normal terminology for young people to be using. I wish I'd circle back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle again. Here's one. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. Implicating the grandpa by it being his rifle, and then calling the dad old man. What is this, Welcome Back Kotter show? The Cosby Show? My old man? Are there any 20-year-olds out there who are watching this right now? Do you call your father my old man? I didn't call my dad my old man. Like, that was a term used for somebody's dad right before my generation. My generation didn't call our fathers my old man. That's not a normal phrase. So is history repeating itself and now young people are using my old man again? I don't think so. I'm beginning to think and wonder who wrote this. Then he talks about not knowing if it had a serial number on it. He says, I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Giving all the questions answers. Any clues you were looking for, he's providing them right here. And of course he references his old man one more time. And one more time to tie himself directly to the firearm that was found in the bushes. Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. What did they find? A rifle wrapped in a towel. Again, he's filling in all the blanks for them. Nobody's going to have any detective work to do here. And then this one. This is perfect. This was the nail in the coffin to tie him to everything that they found. Remember how I was engraving bullets. Okay, it's not like he probably does all this wonderful, crazy hobby stuff anyway. So the engraving of the bullets, if that is in fact what happened and who did it, would be something so remarkable you don't have to remind him. Like, I remember when you were plucking pineapples from the ground and you climbed up and snatched some coconuts out of some palm trees. You saved a baby cat from drowning in the neighbor's pool. Oh, yeah, you were engraving yeah, I remember now. Yeah, I remember now. So he's tying him to the engraving of the bullets. First of all, calling these messages that he put on these rounds a big meme. That's something that the media have been calling it. Again, I don't see a young person saying that what we put on there was a meme, because that's not really a meme to them. Those are terms and phrases that they use. We consider them memes because it's not in our normal daily life. We see them in memes, but they don't. They use these terms. So for him to call that a meme sounds a little odd to me. But this was a smoking gun. And I'm going to allow you guys to do the research on this one. because I want you to see it for yourself. In looking at that UWU, now remember, this is text messaging. This is not writing. This is not handwriting. So no one is misreading what they're seeing right there with UWU. That should be OWO. Text it and see if you think I'm on the right track here. And just for a little bit of clarification, if you look at a normal keyboard, the U and the O are 2 letters apart from one another. So I really doubt that same mistake was made of somebody wanting to type in an OWO instead of UWU. This makes me think somebody knew what the right thing to put in there was, but they typed in the wrong thing because they don't know what it is. If you don't know the right words, but you know there's a group of words that you're supposed to put in at this point, you may do a typo and look at it 100 times and not realize it's actual typo, especially when it's not a real word, OWO or UWU. That right there, I think, is a smoking gun to point to somebody else having typed this, not this alleged shooter. And again, they threw Grandpa under the bus. Grandpa's gun does just fine. They say, I think it was a $2,000 scope. I think you'll find that it was probably an exactly $2,000 scope because, again, everybody is providing the perfect information in this text exchange. Friends, this screams somebody else pinning this text message. Very unnatural. I think it's very unnatural for even us to type with one another, text one another that way, let alone young people. It's very neat, very coherent. Emotionally expressive, as if somebody was trying to make sure you understood the context of every single thing that they were writing. Look, real text in a heightened emotional situation like this, it has errors. It may ramble on. You're not thinking about punctuation. You're not capitalizing letters. You'll have weird grammar breaks. There'll be emotional flashes, a lot of incoherence that you may have to clear up instead of being super clear from the jump. These texts hit a lot of the right points. Again, motive, guilt, apology, planning of the whole thing, confession of the whole thing, who the gun was from. Everything included in here from the alleged shooter matched with the expectations of a detective perfectly. Again, if a detective had 10 things he was looking for, it's like they were all 10 of them were perfectly spelled out in here. The detective's thinking, oh, well, let me go through here and see if I can find my answers. And at the end of it, he's like, it's all here. Everything I'm looking for is here. This text thread alone reads more like a movie script than it does some little frantic exchange between 2 gay guys and an alleged shooter and his partner back home. No WTFs, no IDKs, no OMGs. I did see one grouping of letters in there, but that was it. Everything else was, again, spelled out perfectly, which is very unusual. So what do you guys think? Is this a confession or some kind of choreographed script written by somebody else? Honestly, this is why people don't trust the official narrative anymore when it comes out. These texts don't sound raw. They don't sound messy like the average person would text under normal circumstances, let alone something like this. That's, you've got all this anxiety built up between both people. This sounds edited, polished. It sounds dropped in our laps like some pre-packaged Netflix script. Oh, don't the Obamas own or part of or maybe Netflix or something like that? I mean, I could see Michelle and Barack Obama going for some kind of a gay love story, but that's not what this is. This is supposed to be real life right here. Friends, am I reading too much into this? If you think I'm wrong, drop a comment in the comment section down below. If you think I'm right, tell me why you think I'm right. Is this real? Did somebody else completely write this? And is this guy the patsy, as so many people have claimed? Did this guy write this and he's just trying to relieve his boyfriend of legal jeopardy, try to prevent that from happening? Trying to clear him? What a noble thing to do. I don't believe it, but what a noble thing to do if that's what he's doing here. Smash that like button if you're done swallowing government fairy tales, and subscribe for more brutal truth that you will not hear in most other places on YouTube. In fact, YouTube has not been real happy with me putting these videos out, so let's see how long this one lasts. Don't forget, guys, if you're looking for a book to educate yourself and to educate the idiots out there who can't think for themselves regarding mass shootings, go to damnliars.net. Again, damnliars.net, and get my brand new book, Damn Liars.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America. Just hanging around.